material and then digging into it consistently. And I think the results would be astonishing, irrespective of your current playing strength, irrespective of your age. No, I think whoever you are, if you take a classic, as I say, it's obviously going to depend on you, your own tastes, inclinations, and so forth. But it's not that hard with a little bit of research to find the right sort of book for you, depending on what your interests are. And if you then spend months rather than days, and hours rather than minutes in each session, really digging into that material, you are going to reinvent your chess. You cannot fail but do anything but improve. You will improve. Again, and I've been saying this, sort of repeating myself, it needs to be a book of that sort of depth. It could be one of these masterwork training exercise books, the Yusupov series. So that's 9 books. I would say conservatively, from what people have said and from the little bit that I've studied, I studied the first one. You're going to spend, maybe you're going to spend 3-4 hours a week, but you're going to spend 4 or 5 years on that series of books. So that's 6 months on one book. And this is true of any really significant work. And perhaps that's a secret to why so many of us adult improvers simply don't improve. Because we might work consistently. We might even work consistently on good things. But are we doing it with a sort of intensity? Are we sort of committing heart and soul to the project? Are we focusing with all our energy in the time that we spend? Or are we, and this is certainly true for pretty much all of my chess life, both as a child and an adult, do we look at stuff, we play through it, it's very enjoyable, it might be difficult material, we take the words on the page at face value, we certainly don't question the author, we nod in agreement because they're right and we're wrong, and move on. And we do learn something, but it's considerably less than we would learn if we sort of picked apart the material forensically. And at every point asked ourselves a question. Do I really understand this? Why couldn't I have done something else? What would happen? Back in the day when I was a kid, for example, the classic Zurich 1953, and I bought that book when I was about 15, and I did read it. I did play through most of the games, but it wasn't with that sort of depth and total immersion. And I guess also one of the things that made it difficult, as I say, back in the day, I was somewhat isolated. I lived in a smaller town. I didn't have a coach. And I might have asked the questions, but who would answer them? And now, of course, we have our silicon friend. And we can do a sort of interrogation. And I think we can develop meaningful answers to the questions that we pose, whatever the material is. So there we are. That's my thoughts. When I say we need to study one book and our rating will blossom, shoot up, I really do mean it. And it's not a specific book that holds the key. It is the attitude that we bring to the table when we study that book. Now, this is a sort of standalone video, but perhaps in the next one I might talk about a few of the books, certainly that I'm considering, and alternatives for different levels. Until then, perhaps if you're feeling bold, you could leave a few suggestions at what those meaningful books might be for you in the comments below. Anyway, until next time, trust you're enjoying your chess, and from sunny Brazil,